Hi everybody, this is Cheryl Gonzalez and this is Module 9 Reflection on Assistive Technology. So some of the questions that we were supposed to come up with was describe the role of assistive technologies in the classroom. So I actually have personal experience with this because my son had dysgraphia, which is a neurological problem between the brain and the hand that it doesn't enable them to write very well. He also had ADHD, along with some mild neurological damage that affected his reading. So his eye movements were very jerky. So there were several different things that we tried, many different things that we tried in the classroom, but one of them was for his dysgraphia, instead of writing, he could type. So he would have a computer that he could type out his assignments on, either in the classroom or at home. Another one, if he had to dictate something or explain something, then he would use a voice recorder. And for his neurological damage, he had a hard time staying focused on a page. So we would actually use real high-tech stuff. We would use a manila folder with a view pane cut out. So as he was reading, he could stay focused on one sentence and then go down to the next and to the next and to the next. That way his eye movements weren't as jerky and he could focus on one line, and that assisted him greatly. So out of all the assistive technologies looked at this week, which did I find most interesting or applicable for my teaching area? So one of the things that we have in our classroom, again, I teach adults. So one of the things that we utilize are tablets. And tablets assist us in the field, they assist us in the classroom. A lot of the adults that we have that have been in the workforce for 30 or 40 years have a difficulty with sitting in a classroom for long periods of time because they actually would prefer to be outside on tools or turning valves or whatnot. So one of the interesting thing about the tablets is that they can have an interactive program that's kind of simulates what they're doing in the field, and it kind of keeps them engaged more so than it just sitting in a lecture-based classroom. So the assistive technology isn't really for disabilities, but it's definitely to keep those people that have short attention spans or someone who just is not interested in being in a classroom environment engaged by having an interactive program that keeps their mind occupied. One of the other things that, as provided in the article, describe 3 of the 6 applications of assistive technologies and give an example of each. So one of them was positioning technology. Now, for children with ADHD, sit-stand desks aren't always an option in the classroom because they're expensive. But to enable them to keep moving, we provided exercise balls for some students. So those big, large exercise balls that you could do sit-ups on or push-ups on, we actually gave those to our students. And while they could bounce or roll a little bit in one spot, they actually would stay engaged in the classroom and not be very disruptive by moving a loud chair around or bouncing around in their seat or jumping around, walking around their desks. The ball actually allowed movement while being quiet and allowed them to stay engaged in the classroom. Okay, the other one was the application of communication. So I have a relative who is a quadriplegic and he has a hard time typing. So one of the things that he used was Dragon technology or Dragon software, and it's a speech-to-text application. So he could write documents, he could write emails. That was one of his main ways of communication with family members was email. So he could do all of that just through speech-to-text technology. Another one would be the the mobility. So for children who are having a hard time getting to and from school, there's the van modifications. The van modifications can allow handicapped students to either roll a wheelchair up to the van and it'll lift them into the van where their wheelchair can become secure, or the van can kneel or tilt so that student can climb up to the van easily. That would be another one for assistive technology for mobility to get to and from school. And lastly, one additional assistive technology that was not referenced in the article or in the module was assistive technology for fine motor skills. By far, the students and teachers these days and school districts are using iPad technology, which is also what we use in adult learning. But iPad technology will actually enhance a person or a child's fine motor skills. Different applications will narrow their focus and make them use tactile movements that are slow and steady and purposeful. So that's one of the things that by and far teachers are raving about. It's not necessarily a ball to sit on or something to get them to and from, but it's certain to and from school, but it certainly does enhance their learning. Especially for students with fine motor skill issues or reading or auditory problems. That little iPad can do so much and accomplish so much in such a little investment. So where did I find that technology at? Well, specifically at weareteachers.com. We Are Teachers goes in length in discussing how that has helped the teachers in the classroom. So teachers themselves are reporting out and discussing how beneficial they are to special ed children and children with special needs. Well, I hope that those help you today, and I will talk to you next week. Thank you.